My brothers and sisters, good afternoon. If our brother or sister commits something wrong or sins against us, what are we going to do as the disciples of the Lord? The answer to that we already know because we have been reminded by the gospel yesterday. At ano yung gagawin natin ayon sa gospel yesterday? We have to do fraternal correction. We have the obligation to correct our brother or sister so that he can return to the right path or to the right direction. The gospel for today, however, reminds us that there is still one more thing that we should do if our brother or sister sins against us. We should not only correct him or her, we must reconcile with him or her. And we can do that by forgiving him or forgiving her. In the gospel, the apostle Peter approached Jesus and asked him, "Lord, if my brother sins against me, how often must I forgive him? As many as 7 times?" What was the answer of our Lord? The Lord said, "I say to you, not 7 times, but 77 times." That means we should forgive our brothers and sisters without limit. Walang hanggang pagpapatawad. So walang hanggang pagpapatawad. No? We should never stop forgiving our brothers and sisters because at the moment we stop forgiving our brothers and sisters, then God will also stop forgiving us. God never stops forgiving us. We are the one stopping God from forgiving us. And that happens if we stop forgiving our brothers and sisters. That is what happened to the debtor in the gospel today, who was forgiven by the king, his master, of his huge debt. Ang laki-laki ng utang niya, no? Pinatawad. Pero nung nakita niya, when he saw his fellow servant who owed him a much smaller amount, he did not forgive him. In fact, he did so many terrible things towards his fellow servant, in spite of the fact that he really asked for his compassion. But that did not do anything, no. He was not forgiven. And when the king, the master, knew about this, anong nangyari? He got angry and recalled back his forgiveness. His forgiveness of the debtor who thenceforth must pay the whole debt. So sayang, pinatawad na siya. Binawi pa ang pagpapatawad sa kanya dahil hindi siya marunong magpatawad. So ganyan ang Diyos, mapagpatawad, pero kung tayo ay hindi mapagpatawad sa ating kapwa, binabawi niya ang kanyang pagpapatawad sa atin. So, the same thing, sabi nga ni Lord, will our Heavenly Father do to us if we stop forgiving our brothers and sisters? Babawiin din niya ang kanyang pagpapatawad sa atin. So let us always forgive. We should never stop forgiving our brothers and sisters. And this will happen if we are always ready to reconcile with our brothers and sisters. Saint Pontian, Pope and Martyr, and Saint Hippolytus, Martyr and Priest, whose memories we celebrate today, give us an inspiring example not only of martyrdom, but also of reconciliation, forgiveness, and enemies becoming friends. Pontian became a pope in year 230 when the church had to struggle, among others, against schismatic movements. These are movements dividing the church. And during the time of Pontian, one way of dividing the church is by supporting an anti-pope. So there was an anti-pope during the time, and this time it was Hippolytus. And Hippolytus was an anti-pope because he exposed the neglect and abuses in the leadership of the church. But it happened that Pontian was just elected as a pope, so technically they became enemies. Because here we have the Pope, Pontian, and we have here Hippolytus, the anti-pope. So they were enemies. But with a mysterious working of the divine providence, Pontian and Hippolytus were exiled together. Nagsama pa yung enemies, magkaaway, no? Nagkasama sa exile in Sardinia due to the persecution of the Christians. But you know what happened in their captivity? Pontian and Hippolytus reconciled with one another and they became friends, enemies who became friends before their martyrdom. So my brothers and sisters, like Saints Pontian and Hippolytus, we too can be inspiring examples, if not of martyrdom, maybe inspiring example of reconciliation, forgiveness, and enemies becoming friends.